Hey guys, it's TabsolaCario2213 here again with episode 5 of Did You Know Pokemon Facts, Trivia and Mysteries. Let's get started. Number 1! Unique type combinations. There are currently 18 types that a Pokemon can be classified as, and quite often a Pokemon can be a dual type. However, there are a number of Pokemon that are special, such that no other Pokemon other than their own pre-evolution or evolution share the same dual type. Since the game makes no distinction between a Pokemon's first and second types when calculating damage, this list does not consider every permutation of types, but instead only considers combinations. In other words, Pokemon such as Spiritomb, a Ghost Dark Pokemon, and Sableye, a Dark Ghost Pokemon, are treated as having the same type. There are currently 105 unique Pokemon with type combinations that no other Pokemon share. Nearly 50% of all 130 used type combinations are unique to a single Pokemon, with 26 combinations, or Evolutionary Family with 34 combinations. Tornadus is the only single type Pokemon that does not share its type with any other Pokemon. Several other single type Pokemon, Dratini, Dragonair, Misdreavus, Sudowoodo, Tangela and Umbreon, were unique in their single type and when introduced, but later generations introduced more Pokemon with those types. Surskit is the only Pokemon with a unique type combination that evolves into a Pokemon that does not also have one. Generation 5 introduced the most Pokemon with unique type combinations with 33, and Generation 4 introduced the fewest Pokemon with unique type combinations with 20. Number 2! Pokemon cameos. References to the Pokemon franchise and characters are often made in other popular media. Pikachu is usually the most common reference, but other Pokemon related topics are mentioned in many TV shows, movies, songs, games, books and more. For example, in an American Dad episode called A Piñata Named Desire, while Steve was remembering about how he and his friends used to have sleepovers when they were little, a pink and purple Pikachu is seen on the t-shirt worn by his friend Toshi. And in another episode titled Buck Wild, in the first act, Steve is upset about being seated at the kids' table, pointing out that the kids are playing with Pokemon cards and they are not very good. He yells at one of the kids for wasting his Charizard. Also, in one of my favourite shows as a kid, Arthur, in the episode called Arthur Loses His Marbles, Muffy says that she has 54 Dopeyman cards in a pack, in resemblance to Pokemon cards, and with one card a take on Pikachu called Stinkachu. Furthermore, in an adult cartoon show called Drawn Together, one of the main characters, Ling Ling, is a direct parody of Pikachu. He mentions that one of the pastimes is giving children seizures. Number 3! Ghost Girl. Some of you may already know about the spooky X and Y enigma, where you enter a certain building in Pokemon X and Y's Lumiose City, the music will stop, the screen will flash, and a creepy looking girl with a strange walking animation will float by. No matter what, she will always say, "No, you're not the one," right before disappearing. It's been over a year and only a few plausible theories has popped up to try and explain this mystery. However, Game Freak is messing with us again in their latest games Amiga Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, as what appears to be the same ghost girl is programmed in the game. But this time it is very well hidden. In the Elite Four, when your battle begins with Phoebe, she is lurking in the back, watching you. Some players didn't notice at first, but when you see it, you can never unsee it. What significance does this ghost girl have in the games? Well, the theory that I believe is most reasonable is that she has something to do with the legendary Pokemon Hooper. Hooper is not accessible in the games yet, but I think all will be revealed in time. Number 4! Pokemon Trading Card Game. The very first set of Pokemon cards were released on January 9th, 1999, and the most current set is Primal Clash, which is due to be released on the 4th of February 2015. There are currently 67 sets of Pokemon cards, and that's not including promos or special sets. If you counted every single card of those 67 sets, there are around 7,500 cards. That is a heck of a lot of folders and sleeves. Hypothetically, if you brought, say, 2 booster boxes per set at the time of their release, and managed to complete the entire set with those 2 boxes, and each box costs, say, $100, to complete all 67 sets, it'll cost roughly $13,400, but that's only if you brought the cards when they were actually released. Nowadays, to complete a really early set, such as Neo Revelation, it'll be so much more dearer. Who knew that pieces of cardboard with Pokemon illustrations on them would be worth so much? Number 5! Ash Ketchum. Did you know that Ash has never officially caught a Pokemon of the Steel, Psychic, Ghost or Fairy types? The date of Ash's birth, according to Takeshi Shudo's anime novelizations, is 10 years, 10 months, and 10 days exactly prior to the day he began his Pokemon journey. Then Ash's birthday, if April 1 was the first day of his journey, would be May 22nd, which is so cool as that it's my birth date. Also, Ash can draw, as shown in Up Close and Personable, when he drew a Dugong. However, his drawing was insulted by Angie. Did you know that Ash has lost a match against every single normal type gym leader he has ever faced? Whitney in a Goldenrod Opportunity, Norman in There's No Place Like Hoenn, Lenora in The Battle According to Lenora, and Sharon in There's a New Gym Leader in Town. Well, that concludes this episode of Did You Know Pokemon Facts, Trivia and Mysteries. If you'd like to see more Pokemon related content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching and see you later.